Morning, Les.
Good morning, David.
You wanted to work on my abandonment issues this morning. I have no comment. No,
I
you've
was
been,
te- I was testing on it, so
yeah,
I was running a little late, folks. So had a brutal workout, and David was wondering where I was. Took
well,
forever for me to.
Les, you're just a better human being than I am.
I don't know.
Anyway, so welcome to Dynamic Healing Moments with Dr. Les Arya and myself, David Hanscom, and we're talking about something that I think is really critical and the most important concepts we will ever talk about. And we won't be able to convey the importance of this too quickly, but it really is the bane of the human existence. And the title of today is The Road to Hell is Paved with Good Intentions. And why is that? And why cannot people keep the New Year's resolutions, etc.? And it turned out to be neurological trickery. And the self-critical voice is not something that's that rational. And what has been shown in extensive research is that we all know when you try not to think about something, you think about it more.
Mhm.
And it's again the conscious versus the unconscious brain. But what's even more important, when we try to think about something positive, you think about it less. And Les is going to explain this really quickly because he explains it a little bit better than I do. But your conscious brain says, I want to be a good, compassionate person, or I want to be happy. The research shows when you try to be happy, you actually end up being unhappy. If you try to be sad, you end up trying to be happy. And the bottom line is that even though your conscious brain says this, your unconscious brain is saying, well, it's protecting you in a way, but on the other hand, your attention's going the wrong direction. There's a very perverse trick. And what's tragic about it is that the less of a well-intentioned person you are, the less of a problem that you have with this issue. So people that don't really care that much about anybody or narcissistic, whatever you want to call it, aren't burdened by this problem like people that are well-intentioned.
Yeah.
So in some ways, they have a competitive advantage, which, as you know, in world order, why a lot of times people that don't seem to care about people end up at the top of the heap, much to the detriment of those that are lower down in the heap. So we all know that if you try not to think about something, you think about it more. But when you try to think about something, you think about it less. And both of those have tremendous implications for human consciousness. But the bottom line is the conscious versus the unconscious brain.
Yeah.
So it's a major issue. It causes a lot of havoc in the brain. It may be the essence of chronic pain, actually. I think personally think this is that link that Apkarian talks about,
Yeah.
comes from this mental construct.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, David. I think one of the things. So I do have a saying, right? And one of the things is when it comes to healing chronic pain or transforming chronic pain, becoming in that recovery state, feeling less dominance of pain. For example, we want to be pain free. And so we're so focused on that, we can't seem to get there. So there's a motto I have: divorce the outcome, marry the process. And what that means is take your eyes off that, whatever it is that you're wanting. Because sometimes when we want something so bad, we tend to sabotage ourselves. And that's what you're talking about, really. So, from a neurological perspective, from a psychological perspective, when you stay focused in the present moment, was this is where I am, and you accept your reality and work from this versus that,
Right.
you're less likely to activate that paradoxical effect.
Well, and what happens is that the more of a well-intentioned person you are, and it's a bummer because what this does to people is that, people do a lot of good things. And that's why, in history, why a lot of great things in history have been done by people that are younger, mostly be age 45. And I've always wondered about that. And this phenomenon may explain that because you get older, just with repetition, anxiety gets stronger, right?
Yeah,
So what happens is that the well-intentioned people that could offer the world a lot of good get taken out pretty badly with anxiety,
yeah,
or they just crumble. So you're either tortured by anxiety. I just ran across a few people this week. Same thing, same problem is that you're tortured by your thoughts. But this unconscious brain is so much stronger than the conscious brain. It's unbelievable.
yeah,
So that's the key issue. And I've said this for a long time that with the doc journey, and I think with your process also, there's no goal to this process except connecting with the moment you're in, whether it's a positive experience or a negative experience, it doesn't matter. You just connect with what is.
yeah,
There's ways of doing that. But I do want to point out one thing that's disturbingly simple. So it's a major, major problem. It actually affects the entire human existence, including your personal life, your family, but society in general, is that you get people in leadership roles that just don't care enough about the people that they're controlling. That's a major problem.
Yeah,
Then we tend to do things to other people that are bad because we're anxious and reactive, and we can't actually see their needs. So anxiety actually cripples all of us, and it's not necessary. So what's fascinating is that the solution is disturbingly simple, and simply write down your thoughts. The thoughts that your high intentions and ideals, write them down. Then write down the negative thoughts. Write down any thoughts that you have, because your thoughts are actually what sabotage you, because they have the same effect on your brain as a physical threat. But you can't escape your thoughts. So
yeah,
you can't escape your thoughts, and repressed thoughts are a bigger problem. Then also in chronic pain, it's also a bit of a problem even more, because this process, again, the process is started by the need for mental control. There's something about writing down your thoughts
right.
that gives up that need for mental control. And Dr. Wagner called it the seed of our undoing, but the
Yeah,
seed is our need for mental control. So it's disturbingly simple to write down your thoughts. You've separated from them. You've somehow de-energized this neurological trick, and it's not that hard to do. You don't need
yeah,
major pain centers or whatever to do it. And it's not the solution, but it starts breaking up these circuits. It's a fascinating, incredibly massive problem, but from a public health standpoint, how hard would it to be to get the public just writing things down?
yeah. In ACT, David, in ACT, we speak a lot about why control is the problem, trying to control the mind. The reality is, many people feel maybe three reasons why they want to control their thoughts. One, they've seen their parents do it, like shut down. So monkey see, monkey do. So wait a minute, if they did it, I should be able to do it. So we grow
Right.
up thinking that if our parents can control their anger and their thoughts, or they don't show affect, I should be able to do that. So that's one learning we get as a human being. So then we start to get etched into the mind that I can control thoughts. That's one. Two, we're told stop crying, stop that, stop feeling so sorry for yourself,
Right.
knock that anger off, knock that smile off. And so what happens though, then we're taught. And then the third thing is, besides observing, besides being told, and then the third one is, it's kind of an interesting one, is when we've used thought replacement, like with positivity. Again, nothing wrong with positivity, but when you're trying to drown out negative thoughts, you've got two radios going, is what ACT call it, acceptance commitment therapy. We say this is, when you're successful with that, it's almost like an addict. Then you're like, okay, wait a minute, if I can change my thoughts, then I can keep changing it. The truth of the matter, the most severe the thought, the more difficult it is to change. The more
Right.
lighter the thought, the easier it is. So when we get a whiff of being rewarded, of being able to get rid of that negative thought, we believe we can do it with all thoughts, and that's false.
Right.
So,
Well, and also, most research has been done on negative writing because of the crazy, despicable, unpleasant thoughts are the ones that we suppress, of course, because it's actually who
right.
you're not. And so paradoxically, you've made them a lot stronger, and it's really a problem,
Yes.
right? So it's the simple act of writing down thoughts, positive and negative, but especially the negative ones, actually starts breaking up this circuit. So Les and I are doing a workshop August 14th. It's coming out pretty quickly. We better get ready for it, right?
Right. 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 Right.
But I always did the best in medical school when I was cramming. So we're gonna be on fire for this thing.
That's how I wrote my papers and studied for
I know.
stats. So,
So it's August 14th. The access is on the Open Center in New York City. You look at that. You look at Dr. Ari's website, remedypain.co. My
yeah,
website is thedocjourney.com. And please consider looking at this, because the whole idea of this inner critic arises from this neurological trick and is solvable, but it takes specific approaches and tools to actually break through and reprogram the brain.
yeah,
And the brain actually physically changes structure. New neurons, new connections. It's not some ploy here. It's been well documented. The results are well documented as far as treating it. We're excited about the workshop, and
mhm.
have a great weekend.
Yep,
All right.
absolutely. See you,
Have a
everyone.
good one.
Have a good morning.